We currently stand on one of the most visited historic sites in all of Hawaii. The collective tragedy of the USS Arizona is one of the best-known stories of bravery and loss in American history. For the past several months, it has been my great honor to narrow that focus of this historic moment and uncover the story of one sailor, Seaman Second Class Bruce Bradley. Bruce Dean Bradley was born on January 29, 1922, in the rural town of Paw Paw, Illinois. Due to his mother's illness, he was sent to live with his sister Laura and her husband in Elgin, Illinois, when he was just 7 years old. Laura all but raised him as her own. Bruce left high school to enlist in the United States Navy and begin his service to his country. On December 7, 1941, Seaman Second Class Bruce Bradley was among the 1,177 sailors and Marines who died aboard the Arizona when it was hit by Japanese bombers during the surprise attack on Hawaii. In my attempt to uncover the unique story of Bruce Bradley, I discovered instead that Bruce represented a large portion of men and women who answered the call to service in World War II. As a young man raised in the heart of the Prairie State, Bruce was no stranger to hard work and duty. Farm and factory work were the two staples of life in Northern Illinois. As Bruce embarked on his military journey, he must have been filled with a sense of adventure and possibly fear. I try to imagine Bruce's emotions as he first arrived in Hawaii, a scene so different from the landlocked fields of his home state. He surely felt he had arrived in a tropical paradise. I try to imagine what it must have been like on that fateful Sunday morning when, at age 19, Bruce was taken by surprise when the Japanese attacked his ship. How this beautiful setting turned into a war zone filled with chaos and carnage. How Bruce was likely awakened by the sounds of gunfire and bombs, along with the screams of men. How in the face of gripping fear, Bruce and his shipmates sprang into action to man their stations and fight to survive. How Bruce ultimately lost his struggle alongside so many of his comrades. How in dying among these men, Bruce Bradley contributed to the story of America's freedom. Bruce, you were just 19 when you died, but here we stand 76 years later, remembering your service and contributions. After the Pearl Habor attack, your father and sister wrote letters to the Navy, hoping for news of your survival. Just over 1 month after Pearl, your father was informed that your body was unrecoverable and that you had lost your life in the service of your country. I visited your birthplace of Paw Paw, Illinois, so I could walk the streets of your childhood. What I found was a town that has still not forgotten you. Your service is honored in a Veterans Memorial in town, and a headstone bearing your name sits in your family's plot at the local cemetery. Your great niece has worked so tirelessly to replace your lost Purple Heart that a bill called Honoring Our Heroes Act is being introduced in Congress to help families seeking to replace lost medals. In doing your duty, in manning your station, you inspired a generation of men and women to defend American liberty and freedom in the greatest military struggle of all time. By sacrificing your life, you inspired those men and women to win that struggle. Your death, Bruce, as well as your life, are not forgotten. To commemorate your sacrifice, your great-nephew and namesake wrote a poem in your honor entitled Uncle Bruce, in which he explores the events of your final day. These last lines of the poem illustrate the essence of what brings us here today. Their loss is still felt after all of these years, even today as we dab at our tears. For Bruce and his mates in their barnacled grave, the lives that were lost that no one could save. May they rest on their ship in eternal slumber, remembered by name and not just a number.